and the victims of these floodings, or this flooding rather, that is taking place there. The communities appealing for help. They're saying that they have yet to receive aid from authorities. Let's discuss this now with civil society Unmute Coalition, South Africa's. This is Ndodana Radebe, which is the group representing people in informal settlements in the Western Cape. Mr. Ndodana, good evening to you, and thank you for your time. Let's start with the situation on the ground. How badly affected are people by this heavy rain?
Oh, it is very bad, man. As I'm speaking to you, people are really in water in their houses. Their shacks are flooded. They are removing things out of the houses. It's very sad. I think this is one of the worst one in the last couple of years we've had. Even though we know every year it happens and the city start preparing for that in advance, but this one is one of the worst one we've received so far. It was affected everywhere, including proper houses as well. In one big area, the roofs were off. It affected every single person, businesses, every single person.
Yeah. How big is the scale then in terms of authorities needing to come in and help those that are most affected? And what is it, in your view, that people want the most right now?
At this moment, people want shelter. They want somewhere they can be warm, somewhere they can have something to eat, because some people lost all their food stuff and all their meals in their houses. Some lost blankets, clothing, then perished. So people at this moment, they need really shelter to be warm so that they don't get affected with diseases. Also, just to have a place where they can sleep at this moment. This is the most requirement at this moment. And whoever is helping, that is what you're looking at. Just the people to be helped in that manner, to have a shelter to sleep at least for the night.
Yeah. And how big is the scale? I'm talking about the number of areas affected, because I'm thinking here that the authorities are going to have to look at this in numbers and try to allocate resources, therefore, in accordance with those numbers.
Look, the city of Cape Town has got a lot of intelligence on the ground, and sometimes they have the numbers right, sometimes they get them wrong. They sometimes forget the homeless as well. When you look at the numbers, it affects everyone, including prisons. I was having reports in Mamasbury prison that it affected their side. I've been receiving reports that in Gukuletu, which is one of the always areas where they always get this problem. In terms of numbers, I'm looking at 20, 30,000 people with families, including children, Maspomelele, that side as well. Look, there's a lot of networks in that manner. The numbers are really not known at this stage, but we're looking at around 20 to 30,000 people affected with this. Everybody's affected.
That's a massive number of people. That is a massive number of people, because the numbers you are quoting now are very, very large as opposed to the 15,000 that we have been talking about. And is there enough shelter for some 30,000 people who need accommodation right now?
There isn't. You see, the city is not prepared for this kind of disasters. I'll call it a catastrophe because they are not prepared for this kind. The reason everyone looks at the shacks and look at the informal settlement. Now we are talking about houses. It's affected houses and suburbs where it never affected before. So at this moment, that's why we say it's a disaster. So for people to be really accommodated, I don't know how NGOs are coming on board. Some of our partners, some of the people we work with on the ground, they are reporting a lot. They're sending photos. We are going family by family. We're going, some of our partners are going to the really affected quick families, not the ones in a large scale, maybe one or two there and there. Like the one big people lost all their roofs, about 10 houses. So people are already affected in a suburban area, not even in the shacks or in that manner. So it is really sad, because now I don't know how we're going to get it right. So we continue. I hear Gift of Givers was there. I hear quite good things going around. The mayor's going around in suburbs assessing the situation, but there's not enough manpower, enough resources for this kind of disaster. So national government, I was happy to see the minister in Khayelitsha there also getting involved. Like we get all reports everywhere. So at this moment, really there is no enough space to accommodate people. They're trying walls, they're trying anything, libraries, wherever they can put people in. As we receive reports, we send people to those areas as well.
Yeah. Usually when we talk such a massive disaster, Mr. Radebe, it usually is accompanied by sad news of people losing their lives. It is something of a miracle that we're not talking about lives lost, but rather perhaps evacuations. How proactive would you say authorities have been in getting the message out that people need to move to safer areas?
We got a report from Helderveld, I think one of the groups, Vanessa, she works in the Guguletu area there, opposite Guguletu is in Helderveld. They said there's a lady who went into the rain. You know, when the rain, the water, you can't see there is a drain. And then she fell there in the rain. Now in the drain, they can't access her. She was going to work this morning. That's the only report I've received, but it's not confirmed. They are going to start looking for her because apparently she fell into a drain of water because she was walking inside. Half her body was already in the water, and then when she was walking, then she fell in. That's only one report we've had so far about someone could have passed their life. So it's unconfirmed. It's in the Helderveld area next to Kuguletu. In other areas, no, there's no. People are cautious. People are not going out in those risky areas or in the waters. Some kids are playing. They even swimming there in the waters. It's like fun for them, not realizing the disaster happening. It is actually turned a disaster into fun for some of the children as well.
Yeah. All right. Ndodana Radebe, thank you very much for your time, sir. And hopefully the shelter is going to be identified soon because it's a massive scale. This is indeed a disaster, as he puts it. Mr. Radebe is with the organization Civil Society Unmute Coalition South Africa.